Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss a different topic that I have not talked about in my channel at all. We're going to build an application using React.js and especially using Next.js framework. So let's see how that application will look like. Before I start, I would humbly suggest, if you're not familiar with my channel, please take some time and look at some of the videos that I have created that basically deals with various different technologies that you can use to build full stack web application. Anyway, and if you like those videos, I would really appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel and also like the videos. Also, please feel free to comment on the videos and let me know what kind of future videos that you would like to see. Anyway, let's look at it, what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so at the end of the video today, we will be able to create a form like this, and we'll be able to submit the data, and we'll be able to capture the data somewhere on the server. And all of this thing, we can actually do it on the internet. We don't really have to do it on our local machine. As you could see, this URL right here, it is actually on an internet site. So we're going to do that as well. Let's talk about this form here. As you could see, it captures several information that is related to an individual that is trying to apply for a job, right? So this is something simple, but at the same time, one of the things that I also wanted to do is kind of use all different types of HTML fields to submit the data so that I can kind of demonstrate how you could do all this, including you can upload your resume right here, as you can see. So here we have text fields, we have email address, we have a checkbox. It's actually a fancy checkbox that we could use using Bootstrap. Then you have a radio, then you have single selects, of course, and then you have multi-selects. This is multiples that you can choose, and you have a file upload. So this form literally has a lot of different moving parts that you could use in a regular HTML form, including an entire file that you can also include. Now, where does this data go? Well, the way it actually works is pretty cool. It actually saves the data in an endpoint that is actually in a server that is something that anyone can register for free. And there's a free version where it will save the data and it will automatically notify you in an email saying that you got this new submission, can you go take a look at it, type thing. So what that does is, let's say if you're a small company, you don't have a lot of money to spend, you can just build this form. It's free. You can use that server endpoint to store your data temporarily. That's also free. And you can even deploy this entire application in Vercel, which is also kind of free. There is a package called Hobby that you can deploy it in there if you want, for learning purpose or for temporarily as well. So that's what I'm going to show you, that this form and all the technologies behind it, it's all using open source, and it's all using literally all free versions of the servers and storage and the clouds to basically manipulate the data and store the data. So let's get to it. The first thing you're going to need is Node.js. Of course, that is kind of like the base software for the technologies like React, Angular, Next.js, and Vue.js, those things. Then I'm going to use Visual Studio Code, but you don't have to use that. But I'm still going to put all of these links down in the description below, and also in the GitHub, the references will be there, so you can download that as well. It's a very neat IDE that will help you along the way. Okay, the next thing you're gonna have to do is go to the site get.form.io. Just get an account. It's free. So when you click on that account button, it will look something like this, and you can just sign up. It's completely free, so just do that. And once you get an user ID and password and then log in, it will look something like this. Okay, as you can see, I already created a form. So what this site does is you basically create an endpoint for a specific form, and you get that specific code that they generate, and you just use that as your endpoint. It's pretty cool. You don't need any database, and you don't need anything else for this. Okay, so I already created one, but basically what you will be doing is just click on this create and just say, type whatever name you want to type. Like this is my application for test form or something like that. Okay, of course you select a time zone, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to select anything, so I'm going to delete that anyway, and then click on create. The free version only allows you to create one form, and that's what I have. So I was not able to create another form. I just showed you how to do it, and you will be able to create your first form, and it will be absolutely fine. For more than one form, then you have to pay. Okay, so it will look something like this, and then once you create the form, what happens is it will give you a code that looks like this. So what you want to do is you want to copy this, and this URL is very important. That is your endpoint. Whenever you're submitting a form, this is where you're going to submit. That's where all of the form data would come and be stored, and you'll get an email as soon as someone submits the data, which is pretty cool. You don't need to worry about any database or any other storage. Okay, and this also kind of cool and shows you exactly how to build a form, and with different radio controls or text or email with the endpoint. But again, you don't need to use exactly this. All you need is this specific URL. Okay, so now that we have that URL that you're going to need, the next thing what you want to do is get the code from GitHub. I'll post the GitHub link that you would need in the description below, and it will also be, of course, in the GitHub itself. So you're going to open a command prompt, and I'm assuming you'll have Git already. Just go to your favorite directory. I typically put all of my stuff in here, and then all you got to do is type git clone, and this would be the URL, which, like I said, I will post in the description below, and just hit enter. I'm not going to do it because I already have it. So you will get all the code out from GitHub, and then what you want to do is you want to do cd to that directory. The directory will be called apply underscore with underscore resume, I think. Like this. Okay. So once you're there, of course, as you can see, I already have all the list of files there. Then I'm going to bring up my Visual Studio code, which I mentioned that you can download it. It's free as well. And there we go. And there are all the codes. The only thing that you are interested in that code, again, this entire code is done using Next.js, which is a very cool framework. It's basically a framework built on the top of React, and it's easy to use. The only file that you need to touch, as far as I'm concerned, on this application is this guy right here, index.js. It's a source directory, then pages, and index.js. As you can see right here, I put enter your getform.io endpoint here. So that's where you're going to paste your endpoint that you copied from that site. Okay. Once you have that, you are done. You don't need to change anything else. This is just the whole application that's going to work as is. Then what you want to do is you're going to come back to your command prompt. Of course, if you wish, you can also open the command prompt using this terminal thing here too, but I'm just going to choose to do it from here. Okay, so the next thing is you want it to run npm install, which will automatically install anything else that you need there, and then just run npm run dev. That will run the server, and then you can just grab that URL and open your browser and basically just paste it here and hit OK. And as you can see, there is that application that's working as is. Okay. Now, how does the endpoint gets used? Now remember, you did change that endpoint to your endpoint that you got from that site. Okay, so let's say I'm just gonna put some test data here, like John and Doe, email address jdoe@test.com, and let's say I want to relocate, and let's say male, and let's say I have 5 to 10 years of experience. I love GitHub, and I like Java, and I know C++, I know JavaScript, and I'm also familiar with Python. Okay, and then you wanted to upload a resume as well, right? Okay, so I'll click browse, and I have a sample resume right here. Select open, and I'm done. All I'm going to do is say submit. And look, the message has been sent successfully. So now where did the data go? So now let's go back and look at that get form site. Okay, so you're going to log in again on the get form site. And once you are there logged in, you will see that there's one message right here for your application, which means that you have a submission. You will also get an email with the email that you registered for this site. Anyway, either way, you'll be able to get notification. So I'm going to click on it, and voila, there it is. You see, there's first name, middle name, last name, email, gender, work experience, all the stuff that has been submitted. So the data is right here. And then there is that resume. It's the sample one. You can even look at that file. There's a sample resume that I uploaded. So all the information is there. So you could do whatever you want with this. So you could delete it, and you can actually get multiple submissions. And I haven't seen any limited. It just keeps adding and adding and adding. So it's pretty neat. As you can see, you don't need any database. You don't need any other storage. This free get form thing actually just stores your data. Okay. All right. So now that's all cool. Now what we're going to do is it's running locally. So I said that I'm going to go ahead and put that into a cloud so that now it's available for anyone in the internet. So let's see how you're going to do that. So for that, what you want to do is you want to go to this site called Vercel.com. It's a very good, cool cloud site that you can actually create an account for free as a hobby, and you can upload your applications that you created with Next.js or React or any other JavaScript-based application, right? So you can click on sign up and just go through the process. It uses different SSOs like GitHub's and other SSOs. I use GitHub, and you can use whatever you want, but either way, it's free. You can just register. Once you register, you're gonna basically need this Vercel CLI so that you can deploy stuff from your local machine to this server, right? So after going there, you can just kind of copy this npm i-g Vercel. That will literally install the Vercel in your local system. Of course, this is for Windows. You can also do this on other platforms too. It works fine. So I'm back to the prompt. As you can see, I stopped my server, and you can just go ahead and run this npm i-g Vercel. That will automatically install Vercel for you. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to run this again. So once you have the Vercel installed with this command, then what you want to do is, in that same directory, you just want to run Vercel like this, okay? And it will automatically find out that you wanted to deploy this application to Vercel in your account, and you'll get this prompt, and it says set up and deploy. Just choose the default, just hit enter. Say yes, I want to do that. And it says which scope do you want to deploy to. It's basically saying which account. Well, that's my default account, so I'm just going to say hit enter. And link to existing project. Well, I don't have any project, so by default it chose no. I'm smart enough to figure that out. So what's your project name? Yes, that's the project name I want. Just choose default, enter, and it says do you want to put it on the local direct, like what is the code? Well, the code is right there wherever I was in that command prompt. So I'm just gonna hit enter, and then it's doing its thing, and it says do you want to modify any of these settings? I said nope, just leave all whatever you got. And it's deploying, as you could see, and it's linking with the new projects that it just created, and it's building. As you could see, the building is done, everything is said and done, and it tells you, look, your application is available in the production site this, And if you really wanted to go look at the application and tinker with it, your project, you can also go to this side. So it gives you everything, right? The settings. So it's in production. So all I got to do now is grab this URL and go back to my browser and open a new tab and paste that URL and hit OK. Voila, there you go. There's that exact same application. Now it's out on the internet. Okay, let's just test the application. Put John S. Smith, different person, email address jsmith@gmail.com, and I want to relocate and other, let's say, and I have 1 to 5 years of experience. I like Bitbucket, and I only know C# and PHP, and I'll grab my resume from here again and submit. And there we go. It sent the message successfully. So now let's go back to our Get From IO site, which is right here, and let's just refresh it. And there's another message. So now you could see that this is the new message and this was the old message. So, and there's the resume again. So as you can see, it will keep submitting the data and we'll have the data right here. You don't need any database. So we create the application, we run it locally, and then we also deploy it in Vercel. Now it's available out on the internet and we can share it with the whole world. So it's pretty neat. Now let's just look at the code a little bit. Even though this is out of the scope of this tutorial about learning Next.js and React.js, but I'll just briefly mention what code do you want to change if you have to add something else in here. So as I said, this file index.js is the file that has all the code that you wanted to touch if you wanted to add, let's say, new field, right? Everything is right here, as you can see. All the form data and the form fields are built in right here, okay? And I have used Bootstrap heavily just to give it a nice look and feel. It kind of looks professional. So if you wanted to add like another, let's say, phone number or something, all you gotta do is kind of like copy and paste and change the input to like number and then phone number. And then since you're adding more data, what you want to do is for every data you wanted to add one more data field in here, right? And then because the entire thing is actually submitted as a form, so it will be automatically grabbed by the system. Okay, and then after you submit, it actually clears some of the fields. So you also wanted to clear it right here as well. So that's about it. Other than that, I mean, you don't really need to worry about anything else. If you wanted to add more checkboxes, then probably you have to do a little bit, more coding, which you can take a look at my other codes for the checkbox, and you'll be able to just copy and paste. So other than that, there isn't anything else you got to do if you are just trying to add more fields to the form. It's pretty straightforward. And as you can see that using this application, you can pretty much build any forms and you don't need any database. All you gotta do is register on that get.io and you'll have your data. So in a way, yeah, it doesn't have database. For like a small starter company, you can actually use this kind of approach to just save your data for the short term. So that's it for today. Now bear with me. In my next video I will actually discuss another really cool app, like another cool app that kind of looks like Zelle Mini. So I just want to give you a preview of it. So this is still a work in progress, but just want to give you a quick preview of it. I can use several different AI models. Like this one I could use to type any text and it's going to create an image, just like Zelle Mini, if you're familiar with that AI application online. And then I got another one that basically says I can just type whatever I want, delimited by this, and it will generate a video, okay, from any text. Then I can create an animation. I can put some start prompt text, some end prompt, it will create an animation for me. That's also pretty neat. And last but not the least, this is kind of like I can get a low resolution image and just attach it here and just say go, and it will give me a better version of it using AI. So again, I'm still building it, but all of this four actually works. So in my next video, I will talk about how to create at least a bare minimum version of the like DALL-E Mini, like this one. So if I say something like a quick brown frog jumps over a old man. Well, maybe I should just put an old man, and let's see what happens. And it's running. It's processing. It should give me an image pretty soon. There you go. Well, it's just the fox is jumping, but there is no old man. Let's try another fun one. Let's say DALL-E Mini creating an image of a car. Let's see what it does. Okay, that's fun. Okay, so that will be coming in the future. If this tutorial added any value to your day-to-day skills, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon, and also like my videos, and also do comment and let me know what are the tutorials or what are the technologies that you want to see in the future. So just to reiterate what we talked about today, is you're going to download the Node.js if you don't have it installed, and then you need to download the Visual Studio Code if you don't have it installed, and then you create a free account in getform.io and create a free form and grab that endpoint URL. Then you will check out the code, apply with resume from the GitHub. Then using a Visual Studio Code, you're going to open this application and go to this specific page, index.js, and find that endpoint URL at the top and replace that endpoint URL where it actually specified in the code to the URL that you actually got from that getform.io when you created the form. Once you have all that, just go ahead and compile and build and run using these two npm command, npm install, npm run dev. Then you're good to go. The server will be up. Then you open the internet browser and then go to this URL, and you'll be able to launch the application locally. And of course, we also talked about how to go to Vercel, create an account, and then deploy this application for the world to see. So it will be basically on the internet. That's about it in a nutshell. That's all for today. Thanks a lot for watching it, and bye now.